Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. And as you can tell, I am by myself because I do not know where my co host is. I don't know where he is. I don't know. I wish I knew. I don't know. I don't know. We planned this out and he's still not here. So I'm flying solo until he shows up. So how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Wait, what did somebody say?
Metas killed your parents, Gracie. They all deserve to die.
Don't believe him, Grace.
I feel like we needed to have that as a opener. How's everybody doing tonight, this Sunday evening? Is everybody feeling like they did this weekend?
Wow, you have seriously leveled up.
I'm having too much fun. What's up, Undead? What's up? How are you doing? Yeah, we were discussing doing a random stream, and we had this idea of Tuesday, but that doesn't work for me because I didn't think about it. But I have to wake up extremely early Wednesday morning for Moon Knight, so that wasn't going to work for me so well. So, yeah. So we're here. Oh my God, he's here. Are you ready to jump in? Hello.
Hi.
We were like, what's going on here? Okay.
It means that we're canceling the show.
Oh yeah. Before the 10th episode, we're canceling everything, guys.
Yeah, we would have one mid-season replacement that just didn't go forward after 12. So
Yeah, we're just chilling. How was your gaming, sir?
I've been playing for the last 12 hours.
How was that?
It was so nice.
So
Like, I didn't have to worry about the world. I didn't have to worry about like life problems. I didn't have to worry about I did go water my parents' plants for a hot minute because they're out of town, but
okay.
it was nice. I was nice as winning over people and losing 50,000 because I'm a noob.
Yeah, I played some Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. I bought it yesterday. Started playing a little bit. I started playing episode 1, The Phantom Menace, because I want to go in from 1 to 9. And I was just like blown away by how much you can explore in the levels, because the games used to be very linear where you just followed a path. But now there's so many offshoots of stuff you can do. So that was really cool to kind of see that. Let's see. So Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced.
I saw Jordan Fisher tweet about it. That's cool.
It's pretty crazy. There's still a lot of Disney properties they have not covered in Kingdom Hearts. And so people are thinking they're going to be covering other IP under Disney, like Star Wars. They think Endor is in the opening of Kingdom Hearts 4. I don't know that, but in terms of Disney, I mean, I think an underrated Disney film that should be covered is The Black Cauldron. I think that's an underrated Disney animated film from the 1980s. I feel like that they should cover that. Let's see. Thoughts on Warner Brothers Discovery merger? Well, I guess we could have had this as a topic on Sunday, but or
it
for
is
Friday.
Sunday.
For Friday.
Well, we had so much else going on, and so, there's just so much. I mean, it's just so fresh. It just happened. We're gonna.
We don't even know what the outcome is, because like the whole point is, how do you think this will affect the DC films or Warner Bros. I don't think it's going to be affecting a lot. I feel like it's going to start affecting future stuff they develop, like any stuff that's recent, like Dune Part 2, the DC films that we know are currently being filmed or in post-production. They're not going to be affected in terms of changes in like creative, if you will. But I think moving forward, Discovery will probably make some changes, or you'll start seeing more of an effect in a couple of years, I think. Or it could be instant. I don't know. I feel like the whole same day and date HBO Max situation, theatrical and same day and date for HBO Max, was a really bad situation. Ooh.
And now,
thank you, Naruto. Thank you so much. The Lost Masters are from the mobile game. They appeared in the Kingdom Hearts. Oh, okay. Those are the Lost Masters. Okay. Because in Kingdom Hearts 4, the trailer, they have the Lost Masters arc, and it's like the start of a new arc for the Kingdom Hearts franchise, because we just ended with Kingdom Hearts 3 being Yeah. Let's see. But thank you, Naruto. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was unaware because I saw Lost Ashes, like, oh, okay, that's the name of the new arc. But yeah, there's a lot. That game, just so much craziness. Have you played the Kingdom Hearts games? Have you played
I
them?
played the first one like many, many, many years ago, but it wasn't really for me. But I may, you know, revisit. I mean, right now I'm really into Valorant, so we will, and I'm trying to go back to Duel Links a little bit and so on. So we will,
Okay.
we'll see how it goes.
So me and my wife, we finished Yellowstone last night. All 4 seasons, we got it done. The prequel show 1883, we actually got to the first 3 episodes today of 1883. Really well done. And also too, this kind of ties in a little bit to the Walker show, because they're doing that prequel show in the 1800s with Cat McNamara. How
In
you
the
pronounce her name?
1800s.
Yeah, that show that she's going to be in, that's set in the late 1800s.
Are you sure?
I think it is. I think I read that.
I will Google. Hold on.
Because people are saying they're doing a prequel show of Walker set in that time period, because Yellowstone is a Western show that also has 1883, a prequel show.
Oh yeah, there we go. The Walker prequel is set in the late 1800s. It follows an affluent Bostonian named Abby Walker McNamara, whose husband is murdered in front of her while on their trek out west. Consumed by need for vengeance, Abby crosses paths with Hoyt Rawlins, described as a lovable rogue in search of purpose and long life. Cool.
So it ties in a little bit. Oh, cameo with no glasses. But they're
Oh
saying
damn, you look different.
the blue eyes.
The blue.
But but they're saying that prequel Walker show is because of the success of 1883, the prequel show to Yellowstone that was really successful. People are like, oh, they're just trying to copy 1883's the prequel show to Yellowstone. I'm like, I guess. I mean,
well, also Walker is doing great for them. Like it's the number one rated show right now. It's like,
and Yellowstone's a very popular Western show as well. And they're saying since 1883 is the prequel, they're going to do another prequel show for Walker. That's kind of similar. Like, if it indeed they're just trying to piggyback off of 1883, it's not really an issue, because to me, I think Walker's a different show than Yellowstone. I've not seen Walker, but in terms of what the shows, what I've seen from trailers, it's a very different show.
yeah.
So,
but who would have thought that a Walker reboot would do better than
people thought it was a bad
Superman
idea,
Logan.
and it's actually doing pretty solid.
But I think one of the main reasons is because of Jared Padalecki, because Supernatural fandom is like they will go anywhere.
That's probably why it's doing so well. It's doing pretty good, Triple X. It's been a crazy weekend. I'm hating tomorrow's Monday, but David's a penny pincher, and I fully respect him to mandate lower budget movie. Yeah, I mean, I would say that's probably. I mean, I don't know if he's a penny pincher in terms of like keeping stuff low budget, but Shazam was like the budget for Shazam was pretty low. And the Batman could have been cheaper, but I don't know. Yeah, you've not seen Stranger Things, have you? Have you seen Stranger Things?
No, but you can spoil it. It's fine.
Well, no, I'm not gonna spoil it. I just the fact
if you need to talk about something related to spoilers, it's fine.
I wasn't gonna mention spoilers because apparently the new season 4 is gonna have every episode over an hour long, which is pretty insane.
They must have thought that was going to be the final season or something.
That, or they just apparently it's like the largest script they've had in terms of how much stuff they wrote, and I think because of everything shutting down and they had more time to write stuff, they just wrote a lot, and they're making more episodes than normal. Yellowstone 1883 is in one mini season. Yeah, 1932. 1932 connects to 1883 in some sort of way. Yeah. Will I react to the Halo show? No, I have no desire to react to the Halo show. Plus, Paramount is very, very stingy on using footage, so those videos get blocked. Did you hear about this? I didn't hear about this.
There's not even a script yet, so
I didn't know where that came from.
Yeah, if it's from giant fart robot or something, then don't believe it.
Let me actually share this out that we're alive right now.
Yeah, I just retweeted you.
Okay, I'm gonna share it to my live now. Come check.
I can check the chat in the meantime.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't think that there was because there's not even a deal yet. Like we don't even know what the future is for Spider-Man and the MCU and everything.
There will be. There's gonna be a movie. Obviously, it's just that right now, there's so many Phase 4 movies that they have yet to come out. Even
Yeah.
that they're like, we don't even know when Fantastic Four is happening or when
We just
Blade.
know that it's happening
Yeah,
sometime.
I would expect
And
Spider-Man
yeah.
4 to come out in Phase. Maybe I could see Spider-Man 4 being prepped for the end of Phase 5 at least at this point.
And they're definitely gonna get another director because John Watts is moving from Spider-Man to Fantastic Four. So he's
Well,
not
has he said it? Because I have not heard. Everyone
Kevin
was so quiet about it.
no, Kevin Feige confirmed John Watts is directing it.
Yeah, Fantastic Four. Yeah, but
Yeah.
he could still after Fantastic Four do.
Well, I think
know.
that they're gonna start working on Spider-Man sooner rather than later. At some point, they're gonna start prepping that movie. I would think John Watts is not gonna. I mean, he's already done 3 movies of Spider-Man. I would think he would want to move on from doing that character again. Because I mean, as far as I know, that's the last 3 things he's done in terms of directorial is Spider-Man, and I would think just based on how they structured it to where because Kevin Feige says once he's done with our next Spider-Man film, he's going to move over to Fantastic Four. It sounds like to me that whenever they get ahead and start doing a Spider-Man 4, it's gonna be another director. I would personally think it'd be the smart decision because I mean he of course ended on a high note with No Way Home, but he could get burned out, and you don't want that to happen. I'm surprised he's actually jumping to another Marvel movie, but I guess he really wanted to do Fantastic Four. But yeah, actually, I started off the stream before you jumped in, and I played. Before you jumped in, I started off the stream with the Gracie clip. Wait, what'd you guys say? And I played the clip. It was, Chainsaw and Andy would be a part of Arrowverse team. Who would it be? Team Arrow, Team Flash, Team Legends, Team Black Lightning, Team Kent, Team Green Arrow, Canaries. Oh, so Green Arrow and Canaries in the mix too. Team Arrow. Why not?
Team Flash.
There you go. I mean, it makes sense for you to go Team Flash.
Listen, the dude who can run back in time and change things and can travel me to multiverse and stuff like that. Seems like a good person to have.
Would you be a speedster or would you be in Star Labs?
I would probably want Cisco's powers because I know shit about engineering. So
you want to be a vibe.
I want to be the vibe.
The vibe. Let's see here. Kevin Feige and Pascal have already said that they are working on development of Spider-Man 4, and they're talking about where the story is going. Yeah, I would assume they probably have an idea of where it's going to go, especially how they ended the third film with the new suit and him actually becoming Spider-Man in terms of being on his own and everything, creating his own suit.
Yeah, I mean, also just because I know Tom Holland came out and kind of clarified a little bit because a lot of people were jumping ahead to saying that in development equals script being written. That doesn't necessarily always mean in development can be that they're writing out, they're sitting there. It includes negotiations, pitching, and talent scouting. So they're not again. I don't think you're gonna get guys. I don't think you're gonna get Spider-Man 4 as early as you think it is because. And right now Spider-Man can take a little break right now. I think it's fine. I think we can let's focus on Blade, Fantastic Four, the X-Men. Sadly the Ant-Man free sequel and the other films they're working on. Listen, I've never cared for that franchise, and also now that we have an anti-vaxxer running around being all like, oh my god, I don't like vaccines, and I'm like, okay, then I don't need you. We don't even have a trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, and people are theorizing that's dropping tomorrow, but there's no confirmation.
Why tomorrow?
I don't know. I think because there was a photo that was taken with the director Taika Waititi, with Chris Hemsworth, and with what's her name?
Natalie Portman.
No. Who plays
Thompson.
Yes, and they were doing a pose, and they're press has begun for Thor: Love and Thunder. Press for nothing with no trailer, and the way they were holding up their fingers and like the people were like counting how many fingers they're holding up in the photo. People are like, oh, does that 411 2022 or 411 22? I'm like, I don't know where people are getting that from, but like people are like thinking like it's got to be soon, right? Because if they're doing press now,
Well, 422, that would not even be tomorrow. That would be in 2 weeks from now.
no, 411 22 is tomorrow.
Oh, I thought you said 422. I thought, okay.
No, 411 2022, but they abbreviated 22 as in the year.
Oh
So
wow,
yeah.
I love these conspiracy theories because I like it because I'm always so busy writing about all all the other news that like I never get like if someone tells me like a fan theory or something, I'm like, well, this is the first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah. Let's see. What would we rate Crisis on Infinite Earths out of 10? It's a good question. Probably an 8. Maybe a 7.5 if I want to be honest with you, because I really feel there were some cameos that were really awesome, but at the same time, some of those cameos we didn't need. Because all it did was take away from the overall budget of the actual crossover. That's why there wasn't many fight sequences. That's why it felt like at times we're not getting a lot of story because we're spending so much time on cameos. Because they felt like, oh, we gotta do all this cameo stuff. Like, I get it, but at the same time, it took away your budget. I felt like they should have gave them more of a budget to help compensate that.
I would probably give it a 9 because for me, like I think that it's a celebration of the past, present, and future for not just DC, for Arrowverse, but all of DC and all DC movies. Like now, it's like in a matter of sense, you could say that the DCEU is now part of the Arrowverse multiverse in some way. Like even whenever Arrowverse, if we never have any more shows on the CW, as long as the movies are still doing their thing, as long as Doom Patrol and Titans and whatever is still doing their thing, the Arrowverse will always be here. And for me, I think that it was a great final arc for Steven. I think that for Flash, especially for us who this show that started Crisis to begin with, I think that it was Barry got to play the instrumental part that he did. Yeah, and then for me, could I have done maybe another fight scene or something? Maybe, but at the same time, like I don't know how many times you can do the anti-monitor interesting in battle. So for me, I'm glad with what we got, and and I think since we know that not knowing that the pandemic was going to come after that, I'm glad we got it at all, and I think the cameos benefited because it does. I mean, here's the thing: I think if you could have cut all the cameos except for Tom Welling and the DCU Flash, because I think one, it ended a very intense thing that was going on in Flash fandom in general. But Smallville is the reason we have these shows. Like Arrow definitely has its place to kicking off like the larger franchise, but Smallville had to work for 10 years to prove that you can tell superhero stories on network television for multiple episodes. Now 22 maybe not the best idea, and we know ain't nobody wanting 22 anymore.
Nope.
But Smallville is like, if I had to sacrifice all that, like, I would have sacrificed Ben Ralph even as Superman. Like as long as Smallville was there to get some sort of recognition, that's all that mattered to me.
I mean, I think I would have appreciated Crisis a little bit more if they would have actually kept Brandon Routh's Kingdom Come Superman instead of replacing him with Lex. I hated that choice. I understood it because they wanted to add some conflict to the end of time and everything going to shit. I just really hated that they had to sacrifice Kingdom Come Superman in order for Lex to be there. I kind of wish they didn't do that.
Kara, because I feel like if there should have been any Kryptonian on the team, it should have only been Kara. I think like Tyler, we didn't need Tyler in that Paragon stuff. We didn't. And honestly, here's the thing: I love Brendan Ralph to death. He is one of the sweetest guys in Hollywood. I think he's had some bad luck when it comes to we know what has gone on, and so we know that and like Superman Returns, I will never defend that movie. I will always defend the casting of him though, because I think if he had gone to play his own Superman, we would have had a solid franchise. But Warner Brothers did. So, but for me, I never really got that high. Yes, I'm glad he got to be Kingdom Come Superman, but at the same time, what a weird place to introduce him at, and then we may never see that version again. Whereas, what if we had never had it at all? Because it's just, again, if it was always going to be that short, then why give us it at all? I think it was, again, another way to tie it to
I think there was probably more planned, but I think things changed in terms of the cameos and everything there, because Bart Guggenheim openly said that they were still trying to get cameos and they were still trying to get people in. And I felt like that was taking away from story, because your whole thing about Smallville, in terms of the story they wrote around, in terms of Lex was going around taking out other Supermen with the book and everything, but like they could have made it to where some of the cameos didn't have to be there.
Then we could have sacrificed Bird Ward. We could have sacrificed the Birds of Prey cameo. Even though I love Ashley Scott, she's great.
I was like, even though that show.
Yeah, I know. I didn't like that show either.
But I thought it was really cool. And what was weird though is because they said, like, when she went to go shoot her sequence, John Wesley's ship was like in the same vicinity. I'm thinking, are they gonna have John Wesley's ship as Jay Garrick or something, and her like meet up? Or I don't even know what they're doing here. But they never shot together or whatever. But apparently, like, there was like people theorizing, and I was like, oh, okay, so she's gonna have probably a role, because John Wesley's ship, you know, he's gonna have some sort of role in this. So maybe maybe she's gonna have, because every time they announced a cameo, I'm thinking they're gonna have an integral part to the story in some sort of capacity. But literally, her sequence was literally 20 seconds. And it was really stupid. I'm like, I get it. They want to honor that show, but at the same time, you didn't need it, because it took away from the overall narrative, because there are certain cameos that make sense for the narrative. They made Lucifer matter for the narrative, his appearance. In order for the Lex Luthor-centric story, having him go to Smallville makes sense, because he's searching around and the book is taking him to different universes to find Superman. And so he found Superman. So that makes sense. But in terms of some of these other cameos, they shouldn't have been in there. Like, realistically, I wish they would have rewritten how they handled Crisis, because I just felt there were some things that they did that took away from how it could have been better. And I get it, because Crisis, of course, in the comics covered so many different characters, but that's the comics. There's no budget. But when they got the budget and realized how much it's going to cost to get these people to fly over here, to pay them, to get their costumes either taken out of storage or recreated, whatever the case may be, or whatever, they should have realized maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Not to the extent of what we are. Maybe we should relegate and figure out how to minimize how many people we're actually going to be using. Because realistically, how they handled that shot of Hawkman and Jason's Robin from the unaired season 1 finale of Titans, and they made it fit to where they saw the world being taken away. They could have found a way to use maybe some sort of other footage from these other shows of these characters, and then they see their worlds disappear and they use it like kind of like that. I don't know. There could have been something they could have done to help with that, but
yeah, I mean, I think we can definitely have a large discussion about Crisis going forward. Because we should look at other questions as well. But for me, I'm just, again, I think at the end of the day, like there's 10,000 different things that you've done with Crisis. But here's the thing: I'm just glad we got it at all, because after Crisis on Earth Fest, and I know many people do enjoy that cross. But for me, I'm like, I never want to feel this way again about watching a 4-part event, because Elseworlds, that was fun, but it was a little low key. So, but we will talk about it on, I think, in a future episode or something, because we could go on about this for hours.
Yeah, because we're planning on doing like an Arrowverse retrospective or something to kind of cover some stuff, or maybe we can do like an Arrowverse crossover stream where it's like the episodes dedicated to the crossovers for the Arrowverse.
Yeah, there's a ton, there's multiple things we can do as like separate episodes. So there.
Yeah. 7.5. Okay. Crisis on Earth X. Okay.
Fair enough.
Do you prefer Flash season 6 or Batwoman season 1?
Flash season 6. I mean, is it even a competition?
Batwoman season 1's all over the place. There's some stuff that I actually liked. Like, I thought that was actually pretty solid. But there's other stuff in season 1 of Batwoman that I'm like, they're still trying to find their footing, but ultimately it fell down the toilet because Ruby.
everything.
Yeah,
But also,
everything, but yes.
but
Yeah.
also, like, I mean, feminist movie, like, are you asking that in a way of like, what was worse? You know, like, as it like, are season 6 Flash bad or is bad? I mean, because Flash season 6, it's a solid season. Like, it's not even like I would say season 7 has more issue than season 6 does. But like, I love the Bloodwork storyline. I love the beginning we had of the Mirrorverse storyline, and we also had Crisis and so on. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Brie
Is she
Larson's joining
winning?
Fast 10. Yeah, Vin Diesel confirmed it that she's
Oh,
joining Fast 10.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we got to address this because
What happened?
so apparently you suck because you said only God complex girl is the
Well,
only
I've been
Kryptonian.
telling you for years now that I suck. Like, you know, like, don't you all think that? Don't think that I'm coming here being like I'm so special. No, I know I suck. You know, here, okay, let me explain this. If you love Brendan Routh as Superman, that's completely fine. Here's the thing: Melissa Benoist Carl is the one who was a lead of her own show for more than 5 seasons on the CW. Brendan Routh was Superman in one movie that flopped. Deal with it. Critically and commercially, it flopped. There's no reason in hell that Brandon should have been a Paragon, and if they were going to have 2 Kryptonians, it would have been better to have a Tyler and Carr instead, Tyler and Melissa. But if we only had one, Melissa was always the priority. She's this crossover. In all honesty, is about Oliver bearing Kara, really.
Because they're the Trinity of the Arrowverse. You know?
So like, listen, if you think I suck, I agree with you. I am not disagreeing with you whatsoever. And if you don't like Supergirl because of the show, that's perfectly fine. But let's be honest. Brendan Routh is not a priority over Melissa Benoist when it comes to what Kryptonian gets more spotlight in that crossover.
And let's also be honest. Let's also be honest too. Just to be clear, it wasn't Brandon Routh's fault that movie failed. It wasn't his fault. He tried his damnest. It was the script. It was the direction. He tried his best. That movie should have been good. It should have been. And I hate the fact that he got the chance to portray that character in that film, and he didn't really get to do anything. He just kind of stood around.
That movie is garbage.
That's why they try to redeem him and give him some sort of continuation, another chance in Crisis. And once again, I felt like they failed on that aspect because he didn't do much because they had so much other crap they were trying to cram in that really took away. Because I felt like, regardless of the Paragon stuff, that's a whole separate debate about him being a Paragon or not. The thing is that I felt that it was an opportunity for him to get a second chance and to play this Kingdom Come Superman, but also I felt they underhanded it. They undermined it with, well, there's all this stuff going on, so we have to focus on those other stuff, so we can't really give him too much except for this one sequence where he explains what happened when the Joker killed all these people and stuff. And then, of course, he gets tricked into fighting Tyler Superman. But also it kind of was like people going, well, I just want to see Brandon Superman, not Tyler's anymore. And now people love Tyler on Superman Lois. So it's like, you can't you just can't please people. That's just what it is. But to your thing about saying that Andy sucks, and I know he was jokingly saying he sucks, and you know he's been that here's the truth. Andy does not suck because he has an opinion. If you don't like his opinion, then you don't like his opinion. But that doesn't mean he sucks.
There's 100 reasons I suck, but you know that we can debate about that later. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. And here's the journey, and I don't know if you're still in the chat, but I'm just making this clear. I hear and agree with. I had a problem with Supergirl as a show by the end. I wasn't a huge fan of it by the end. But calling her God Complex Girl because of various moves they've done. If that's how you feel, that's fine. But for me saying that, yeah, the character who had her own show for multiple years, who worked her ass off as the first female TV show in the since Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no way in hell I would have been okay with Brandon somehow having a priority as Superman over her as a Paragon, or having a bigger story. Because at the end of the day, her Earth gets destroyed. The one that we were spending multiple years with.
She started on a separate Earth. Yeah.
And we saw it for 5 years before it got destroyed. So it's like for anyone to expect that somehow that this crossover should serve as Brandon Superman more than than her or Tyler's Superman or Tom Welling Superman, whatever zone is ridiculous. It was more of, hey, we love Brand, we want to acknowledge his history and give the fans something special. And then also maybe leave the door open for something down the line if they so choose to.
Yeah.
But he was never gonna be somehow above Melissa Supergirl in terms of like the storyline they give her, the screen time they give her, and the result they gave her with her in the end. So,
and I'm also not saying that they should have took away her screen time to give him more. I'm saying
no, I'm telling him. I'm talking to his journey right now.
I'm just saying in general. I feel with what they gave him some purpose, but with other cameos, there was no purpose. It took away from the overall narrative itself. What's the thing you want from Obi-Wan series? Everything. I mean, we already know they're going to be fighting, so exactly. They should have went fan editor mode. Exactly. You understand that, Julian. You understand that. You're a fan editor. You would know. They should have found ways to use old footage to make. They upgraded and like HD'd that shot of Barry from the 90s show and his woman before he died.
She has a name, Tina McGee.
I don't remember, dude. I haven't seen that show in forever. But I'm saying,
you've seen her on The Flash. She essentially plays the same character, but just 20 years later.
I don't remember, dude. I have things going on. I have too much crap in my head. I can't remember that.
All right.
But they showed that shot, and they tied it into the story. So they could have pulled from the archives of Warner Brothers, because they pulled that from the archives of Warner Brothers. Because Burt Ward posted an image of an Instagram of him and the actress who played Kate, and you could see GCP. Yeah, so apparently he was one like Harvey Bullock in Batwoman. Is that true?
I have never heard of that. I literally heard all he did was just play. Yeah, I have never heard. I don't know if that's true or not.
You rock, man. You rock.
That's sure.
Does the Flash jump the shark in the second half of season 6? Well, is King Shark in the episode?
I don't think we had King Shark in season 5.
I think it's a joke because I don't know what they were implying. What's in the back half of season 6 that causes to jump the shark?
That's when they start the Mirrorverse storyline with 610. And then we had one episode with Godspeed, and then 619 was the last one because they got shut down. Everything got shut down by that point. So,
what have you thought of Flash season 8 so far? Well, Armageddon was awesome. After Armageddon, it's been kind of a roller coaster for me, but it's looking like it's going to definitely pick up getting towards the end, especially how this past week's episode ended. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I'm enjoying. I enjoyed some of the interlude episodes. Just to be clear, Armageddon is one of the best graphic novels ever done. And I love the Bar Nora interlude. I've enjoyed the other interludes as well, but I think it would have been better like if we hadn't had this massive break. Those 3 episodes would have maybe made a little more sense. As someone who loves supernatural and the world of supernatural and horror, I really am enjoying like how spooky things are getting and like what they're setting up. So, and because for one, I love that it's a threat that they can't necessarily just deal with. It's not a scientifically thing. It's something that could be pure magic. It could be anything. So I'm enjoying it so far.
Honestly, at this point, no. We've been hearing for years of a rumored Red Hood and the Outlaw show on HBO Max. I don't believe it.
I would take it as long as they don't base it too much on Scott Lobdell's run. Like bring in Roy Harper and do something with Jason. Like, and then I'm totally on board. But just base it as little as possible on his run.
Random stream, not planned. Maybe we should use a different word, but
Impromptu is a generalized word. So.
Apparently not, because other people were commenting saying, "What does impromptu mean?" So I don't know. I thought it was a good word to use. Yeah. Pure speculation. He was photographed wearing a suit and he had GCPD badge on. I think, and I don't think they would film different cameos and pick the one they like the best. That's wasting money and wasting time to shoot multiple cameos just to pick one they like. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm Googling this because I'm never
I only want Donna to appear in season 4 of Titans if she gets electrocuted again.
I mean, isn't she already going to be back? I'm like, oh, right, because of the whole art. Again, I don't know why people got so like, oh my god, because she's joining art. You know, characters can come and go whenever they want. So you know, like I mean, I'm sure she's back, and also like I don't even expect Argus to be like an actual major storyline in that show. Also because I don't want any more Argus in these damn Arrowverse shows. Like I'm done. I'm sick of Argus.
Is Daddy Likes the Metal a good episode? It's the best episode.
It's a fun episode. That's the thing. That's what I've been noticing so much with various part of the fandom. It's just that everyone like needs every episode to be like spectacular or somehow, like, or kind of like be mind blowing in a way where like there needs to be some sort of like major ass, action war storyline or whatever. So for me, like I just want to watch a good show, and that's what I'm getting. Then there's of course episodes that are good, less good than others, but that depends.
See, there's a lot of theories of there's gonna be all the cameos are gonna pop up in the fight. That was not gonna happen. It just wasn't gonna happen. Scheduling is just a nightmare. It just wasn't gonna work. Because I think Kevin Conroy, he went up and then he actually had to go up later to do his other stuff he was going to be doing in the crossover. So it wasn't shot at the same time or something. I'm not sure how they scheduled all that crap out. But there's no way they're going to get everybody to be in that fight. Oh God, it was the best.
He was all right at the beginning, but then they just made it into a gimmick.
This was me and Andy's response when we first saw Donna pop up at Felicity's apartment.
Man, I don't even remember what I felt or reacted.
I remember like a couple weeks ago skimming around Arrow on Netflix and then popping up in that episode, and I just scrolled to when Felicity opens the door and she starts screaming. I'm like, oh God, this is so bad.
Oh, season 3.
That's a word.
Wow. Well, we can maybe change it to open live stream or I don't know something of that.
Something. A pitch for a season of Flash animated was a service soft reboot for the show with Rival as the big bad since we haven't had this feature film for a while, and introduced Max Mercury. Max Mercury is Harrison Wells' stand, so with Max being the CEO of Mercury Labs, Mercury Labs being responsible for the creation of Rival. The show's not going to reboot. There's not going to be some sort of reboot.
No. He said no. He just giving a pitch. He's not asking about a soft reboot. I think Max Mercury would be cool.
Hasn't he been like rumored for a while? Max Mercury.
Rumor for what?
For Flash to pop up in Flash.
I have never heard a single Flash rumor about him at all. I know that Mark Wayne, when I spoke to him last year, he was like, "I hope they at some point introduce Max Mercury." But even the comics haven't even utilized him in a way.
Oh, you're yelling at the people in the trailer, like on their phones, like shooting shit. That's funny. It's been a crazy weekend. It's been lazy, actually, too. Lazy weekend, actually. Let's be honest. I haven't done shit.
All I remember was just I started playing Valorant. Like it must have been yesterday because today it happened again, and now I don't know what else there is.
Did you do this a lot?
Wow, you have seriously leveled up.
Well, in Valorant, you don't actually level up during the game.
You should. You should, though.
Well, you take it up with Riot Games then, because I ain't got nobody's phone number there.
Good question. Which do you think would be better, House of the Dragon or Rings of Power?
Because I've never watched Game of Thrones, I'm gonna say Rings of Power. Also, because I'm like, I feel they're gonna milk the hell out of Game of Thrones.
Shame.
Cool for you. Cool for you.
Shame.
But yeah, I'm Rings of Power. I'm more excited for Rings of Power, and I think that might be,
I feel like House of the Dragon has an uphill battle because of season 8 of Game of Thrones not being received well. So, I guess it all just depends on where each show ends in terms of their first season. Like, what show did more? Like, because House of the Dragon it has to do some setup, but not too much of a setup. We already know this world in a sense, even though it's a prequel. But Rings of Power, it's set in a different age and everything, so they probably have more time. But it seems like their episodes are going to be longer than House of the Dragons. They might have more going on in story. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm excited for both, though. Didn't season 3 have some of the best acting? It has some of the best acting from Felicity. All that crying, guys, top tier.
I'm not gonna say anything about Felicity. So I'm just gonna say yes. Yeah, I mean, Katie Cat has always been great on air, but yeah, season 3 was some of her best work.
Rose rival trajectory as maybe interlude villains or graphic novel.
That could be cool. Like
Yeah,
new versions of them.
Trajectory was like one episode? Yeah, one episode, I think.
In season 2, yeah.
Yeah. Would you like Garth to come back in Titans as Tempest?
Well, he did.
Yeah. So apparently that's the word for fear of long words. That's a lot. I don't know how to pronounce that. Hippopotamon.
No. Stop reading it. Stop reading it.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Did you like season 8 of Game of Thrones? It went downhill. It was rushed. Clear as day. Yeah.
The disrespect. We just said a lot of things in the last couple of minutes.
The disrespect. Every day.
But no, but the whole point with the whole point with impromptu streams is is going back to what we were a little bit of what we were doing before we even started and as Multiverse. That was literally how this came about. Like Jordan would be doing streams every once in a while, and I would pop in and say, "You want to come on? Should I can I come on or whatever and so on." Then you guys were having such a blast with us talking about things that were like, well, let's do a show out of it. But yeah, sometimes it's nice to have endless multiverse as in an impromptu way where like we don't have a script, we don't have anything, we're prepared, and so you guys you ask us the topics and we discuss it.
Yeah. Black Flame is Arrowverse's version of Black Hand. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know though, because would they be able to do that? I don't know.
What do you mean?
The disrespect of Felicity Smoke. Oh no.
If they can do what?
Can they use Necron?
Who the fuck is Necron?
Who are you?
Apparently a guy who sucks. But Necron, what isn't that? Who is that again?
He's a physical manifestation of the concept of death as a cosmic certainty being born from the shadow.
The Black Lantern. Yeah, I always say Black Hand.
Yeah, but the version of Black Hand, the Servant. I don't know if they're allowed to do Blackest Night. I feel like if you do Blackest Night, the Arrowverse is done. I don't know where you go from there.
Well, there's a lot of stories they can do after that. I mean, but I would rather have a build up. Yeah, it's so funny because I just re-binged season 8, and I'm like, what's so funny to me is that they have Earth 2 blow up in the first episode. She's the only, as far as we know right now, the only survivor from that world, and yet she's part of like helping Oliver throughout these lead up to crisis or whatever and so on, and then suddenly like she's not in it, but we still somehow have scenes of Dinah in it, which again I love Dinah, but I'm just like, if any Black Canary should have been in it, it should have been Coral.
And there was no story purpose for her being gone, right? I don't think there was a story purpose.
No, I wonder if it was either like availability issues or it was something else because because the Legends were barely in it besides Sarah and Ray, and then like they show up at like the final part.
Yeah. No, you don't disrespect Felicity Smoke. She's the best character ever created ever. What are you talking about?
I think if anything, whenever I talk about Felicity, and so I think I'm more frustrated with the writing of her than I am I think Felicity as a character always fitted in within Arrow. It was just that people want certain things out of her, so it became more of a priority, and then here we are now.
Here we are. I would say watch Game of Thrones. Just understand it gets rushed towards the end. I think it's worth watching, though, in my opinion.
Oh God, if he's one of the, I mean, who would be grieving him? So
Metas killed your parents, Gracie. They all deserve to die.
Don't believe him, Grace.
He's looking for Grace. He's looking for Gracie.
Oh God, how old would she be? She would be like 10 now.
She's alive, right? Yeah.
The little one, and we didn't actually kill her. We killed the adult future alternate version one. That was a lot of words.
That's a lot. Where villains come back to haunt Barry in a nightmare, and I can imagine it's a kid there that say, Metas killed your parents. No, Metas killed your mom, Barry. Meta killed your mom, Barry. No, Metas killed your parents because technically, yeah. Reverse flash and zoom. Metas killed your parents, Barry. They all deserve to die.
Don't believe him, Barry.
Don't believe. Yeah, that's Iris. Don't believe him, Barry. That's the truth, though. It's the truth.
Oh my God, that wouldn't work. Like, like, don't fall for it, Barry. I don't know what.
That's Ronnie. It's obvious that they teased it, guys. It's Ronnie, or maybe it's not. It's all bullshit. Who knows?
Let's see. On Wednesday, I ordered my tickets for Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. Cool. Yeah,
nice.
I will probably try and book it as soon as possible. But
you should have already booked it.
Well, the problem for me, like where I live, like tickets don't usually like sell out. So, like, it's fine for me.
Wait, do you think after Roy Harper left Arrow, he was guest starring in the seasons after season 3? Wait, what?
I don't understand this question.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me. What?
Because there's nothing to speculate. He did leave after season 3, and then he did get star. He was series regular for, I think,
he left
7.
He left in the back half, and then he sporadically appeared. He appeared in season 4, and he went into season 5. Then I think he's in season 6, season 7, season 8. That's it. He got married to Thea.
Yeah. No, I think Anne said, sorry, I mistake. Okay, rephrase the question.
Yeah, rephrase. Well, I think that was one of the things that the ghost, my wife, loved from the finale of Arrow was that Thea and Roy were getting married.
I love it too. I'm totally a toy shipper.
They're toy. I didn't know they had a name.
You listen to me. I've been saying toy about them since season 1.
I have not heard this once.
Well, you're not a true believer in the romance.
Apparently, I don't like romance in my shit, dude. So I don't follow this crap. There's not, unfortunately, unless it's the Diggle spinoff, there's not going to be any more spinoffs out of Arrow. In terms of from Arrow, the cast,
I would do Birds of Prey with Dinah Laurel and.
That ain't gonna happen. Did you see what Katie Cassidy said recently about the Arrowverse?
Yeah, there was nothing. She said nothing wrong. I've told makes total sense.
No, I'm just saying. I just said like at this point, she's like, I'm not coming back. She's like, they gotta switch it up.
She didn't. That wasn't exactly what she said. She said that they were milking it, but that way, like, of course, if it had happened or if something were to happen down the line, she would be game depending on. But the further you get away from Arrow, because now it's been over 2 years. So
and she also went on to say that she's gonna be directing soon. She's going back to film, so I feel like she probably won't go back unless it's like something significant. Like
never.
Yeah, and also she's gonna still appear at cons and stuff and talk about the character, but I just feel like now with how much time has been removed since the cancellation of her show and everything, so it's all good. But I mean, I think the Justice U, if that doesn't get picked up from Diggle, there's nothing. They're not going to do anything else. Because it's so far removed at this point. If they were going to do something else, they would have already announced it or something. Do you think they would go full bananas with the MCU characters and most of that? No, because if Fox owned if Marvel, well, Fox was owned by Marvel. So if they made Logan at the time and Marvel had the Fox rights, so they had Wolverine and everything, Marvel would not have made that movie. They wouldn't have done it. So I
love Hugh Jackman still wanted to be done.
Yeah. Who would you want to see? I mean, I want to see characters pop up. I want to see them I want to see them appear on Flash and stuff. But in terms of like a show, like, I don't want to see a Renee show. I don't want to see it. I feel like Renee would have popped up in Green Arrow and the Canaries. I feel like Green Arrow and the Canaries would have been the proper place for a lot of these characters to reappear. But with that show not happening, it's less and less likely. Like, I am shocked as hell that Kat McNamara actually appeared on Flash for Armageddon. Like, that was the most shocking thing that I read from the characters who were popping up. I'm like, what? They actually got her? Like, I didn't think she would ever like come back after the show didn't move forward.
I think Renee would have been a great character for Black Lion to use if they had gotten season 5, because I think he would have blended in really well with that Outsiders team.
Yeah, but unfortunately, there's certain a lot of those avenues, paths they could bring characters over. It just, I feel like they could bring them onto Flash if they wanted to, but at a certain point, it's like the actors have moved on, and or at least they don't see how they're going to come back. And they're probably, and also too, there's probably like the writers and stuff, they're probably not even thinking about certain characters anymore in terms of bringing them back. Because a lot of the characters they brought back for Armageddon recently just had their shows end or they're still going, so.
But the good thing with Arrow being over is that, if someone wanted to play with those characters, they can make up whatever stories they want. They can get in whatever, create new storyline. There's so much. There's probably more freedom they can do with them now. As if they were to add someone appear on Flash or on Batwoman.
Yeah, they could explain Dinah just comes back to present day instead of her being in the future, like at the end of the pilot, and then have Dinah pop up on Flash for an episode. They could do that. Wouldn't be an issue. The feminist movie night says the most obvious thing ever. Yes, she does. She hates them. They hate her. It's a two-way street. You'll never see Ruby again. That's why they recast her. You'll never see Ruby again. And I like how too, it was a few weeks before they actually announced the casting of Kate playing as Wallace Day playing Kate, that Ruby was asked if she would reprise her role as Kate in Batwoman. She's like, yeah, if they asked me. But then, no, they had already cast Wallace, and she never would have actually went back. So I don't know why she lied.
Yeah, no, Kate Kane, her story's done, and what if Sarah Wallace? Wow, well then
that's a twist.
Well then I'll throw myself off a cliff.
That's not bad. It's not bad.
Eric Wallace is saying that, like, not last year, but what year? This was 2020. I was talking to him after the season 6 finale, which wasn't obviously the real finale, but he said, because I was talking to him about like what DC characters, are there, because there's still species we haven't seen on the show. I specifically asked about Bart, and that was funny. But like, I had like, are there characters that you want to play with in the Flash? He specifically mentioned Mr. Terrific. So if Echo Callum has a free day or two, then who knows.
There's a Laurel trained for 2 seasons. She wants it back, and she thought she could be a hero.
I'm gonna remind everyone about something.
Oh,
so
boy.
in episode 3 of season 1, there's a scene in some stupid white boy bar. I don't know what it was, but Oliver and Tommy gets in trouble, and guess who has to save their sorry asses? Laurel. And she mentions that her father made her take self-defense classes, and that could have gone over for multiple years, but conveniently everyone just seems to forget about it once Sarah showed up. So it doesn't
fit the narrative that they want to spend about how they dislike Laurel from Earth 1.
Yeah, so John Kemp can go suck it. I don't care what he thinks.
Nisago, he meant to say Nisago because it says La Sa Cool.
Oh, are you writing on your phone and autocorrected?
I think. Invincible.
I would I know we drag on Riverdale quite a lot, but I would go read the Archie reboot they did with Mark Waid. The first couple of volumes they're very fun. I would do that if I were you.
There you go. Yeah, like there's like in the comic book store that's like 10 minutes from my house. They have like a Marvel section, DC section, and they actually have other other companies like as its own separate thing over here. So you kind of see the new issues and graphic novels and stuff. And it's like, okay, there's a lot of stuff out there to read that's non-DC and Marvel. So you can kind of go crazy. There's actually a horror section as well. So you can actually see some horror comics and stuff. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Oh, so now you brought up horror. If you guys loved The Children of Sabrina, then you should go read the Children of Sabrina comic book. That was, it's such a different take on Sabrina, but I think many of you would love it if you're.
I miss that show. I do.
I miss the character because by the end of it, I'm like, okay, I don't think I need any more shows from Roberto Carrera Sacasa, but that's
the show definitely ended. Yeah, Sabrina's coming back in Riverdale. I know.
She is coming back.
Yes.
No, you said it's a sarcasm. It's like no. Does he not know? She's coming.
No.
Back.
I'm saying I'll just watch clips on YouTube. Like I'm not gonna watch the show. Like I watched the clips when she appeared earlier this season. But the show definitely got weird towards the end. But I hate the fact they canceled it. I wish they would have continued. I understand the showrunner and everything, but I really liked how that show started. Like I liked the tone of it. I liked how different it was, and it made sure it was very different from what people think of Sabrina in terms of television. The actress, I saw her quite a bit on the show Bad Men, where she was mostly known for, and then seeing her take on this role as the lead, it was really cool. And I liked how dark it was. And of course it's based off of the darker comics, but I like the fact that they actually went that dark. And I'm glad because originally that was going to be a CW show, but then they said CW wouldn't commit to how many episodes that they wanted. And so Netflix we'll take it. So I'm glad that at least that happened, but I hate the fact that they actually canceled it. I wish they would have done more because apparently there was supposed to be more. They're supposed to do more. And
well, there's actually whatever was going to be done for season 5, there is going to be a comic series. It's going to be done as a comic series with because season 5 was supposed to have. It was about the witches and warlocks of Greendale, meaning the witches and warlocks of Riverdale.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that was the plan,
and I'm glad they're doing that at least so we get the story continued. But I hate the fact that it has to be that way. I mean, I get it; it's a way to still see it, but I just really wish Netflix would have just did it because they canceled it because of the pandemic and everything, and they said they just shut it down.
But also because because this was happening with a lot of Disney and Warner show that were airing on Netflix, because they wanted to pull, they're like, we're gonna do our own streaming service, fuck you, Netflix, we can do our own thing. Obviously that's not what they said, but
that's what I said.
Matter of speaking.
Yeah, and also too, there was this thing where after the show was canceled, there was these fan accounts on Instagram and stuff. You know how that goes, but they were pulling actual comments from the showrunner and actors responding to people about, you guys are gonna get more episodes. What's gonna happen? Is the show gonna get picked up by HBO Max? And people were trying to push the campaign for it to get picked up for HBO Max for it to bring the show over, which there was probably an offshoot chance that they could pull that, even though Netflix has the license rights for the show right now. But I would think that it could have happened since it is their show. It's Warner Bros. Television, but yeah, it's not going to happen at this point because it's too far removed, but I really wish they would have continued and gave it a proper finish. But I get it, comic, at least you get to see the end, but I think it would have been cool if they did a live action, but it's expensive. That show had to be expensive just based off the shooting locations, all that. I'm just assuming it was probably not expensive, but it definitely cost a pretty penny. Because I thought it looked pretty good.
It was expensive, but probably not in the way that people were expecting it to be. But but at least we're getting. We will see what they do with Kieran when she comes back later this season, and hopefully, she will be back in season 7 in some capacity.
Yeah, I remember when me and my wife were watching Riverdale, and we saw the babies floating in the fire. Yeah, at that point we're like, what the fuck is happening on the show?
Can we just not talk about season 3, please? I
don't even remember most of it. I just remember specifically watching where Betty goes out her door or whatever, the backyard, and there's babies floating above the fire. And we're like, And I looked at her and I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? We had no idea what was going on. Yeah, we stopped watching that show. We could not. I think we stopped right around the time the cult leader that Betty's mom was in had a makeshift rocket he was going to fly or something. And like, the fuck is this?
That was literally their season 4 premiere. Like they're like in the season 4 premiere, like they just like because the pandemic, like they finished everything they fucking could, and like
I think that this was before that. I think this was before that though, in terms of when we stopped watching, because we were like, what the fuck is happening? I think it was on Netflix, so I think it might have already aired. It obviously already aired, but I remember just us like going, yeah, we're done. Like we just couldn't continue. Like we had no reason to continue. And I think at this point, if we would have continued, holy crap. Well, I don't even know. I don't even know what my favorite episode.
I would have to put like I have to pull up like I'm trying to yeah, it's probably mostly from season 3, if anything.
Oh my god. I forgot that I had this. It's loading.
Okay.
It's it's loaded. Oh, it's here. Okay, hold on. I gotta. Okay, are you ready for this?
Okay.
That means you haven't known the triumphs and defeats, the epic highs and lows of high school football. But you will.
I forgot that I had that clip. I don't know why I thought about that.
I don't know what's dumber. That speech
Is that from season 4? Or is that season 3? I don't even know.
Whatever fucking season he was in prison. I don't know. Like I don't know what's dumber, that line or Jonathan Kent's reason for taking XK to begin with, because he for fucking football.
I just feel like, and the fact this thing right before that guy he was telling that guy's like, yeah, I dropped out of 4th grade to sell drugs to support my nana. I don't understand. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
CW needs to retire drug storylines altogether.
God damn, it was funny. I forgot I had that clip. That was season 3 Riverdale. Okay. I forgot I had that clip. Because you're talking about Riverdale, I'm thinking like, I remember pulling that football clip, but I had it down. I rendered it and I forgot to add it when I was adding my clips back.
Well, great. Now we can never talk about football ever again on Endless Multiverse, because otherwise that fucking thing is gonna come up.
What?
I could not stop laughing over how dumb it was. I'm like, Archie,
The thing is,
idiot.
someone got paid to write that, and then AJ had to go.
I've written better tweets than that fucking line. I don't
But
get paid for it.
it's like he's like, I gotta say this. It's about when I gave up on the show. I think everybody did.
Yeah, I'm stuck with it because it's like Stockholm syndroming me for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm just done. Well, thank you, Charlie, for being here, man. Thank you.
Hello.
We're just chilling. I think we're going for a little bit longer. We're just chilling. We're just chatting with you guys. Just kind of a random nonsense.
We were thinking about doing it either tomorrow or Tuesday, but Tuesday is, obviously, leading up to Moon Knight. So, Jordan's going to be.
Yeah, when we talked about that, I was like, oh, do Tuesday night because there's no Superman and Lois. But then, like, it's about 7:00 tonight, right before I messaged you, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, and Monday nights, like, I'm usually I'm wiped after work,
Gotcha.
So like I was like Mondays probably wouldn't.
That makes sense. Yeah, I was just I think too, like maybe he wouldn't be able to do tonight either because of you might have to wake up, like get to be prepared for tomorrow. But I was thinking that too. I'm like, I gotta be up by 4:30 in the morning to do Moon Knight. So, I mean, like, they literally can I believe this thing? I don't think he's campaigning for Arrow season 9. That's not true.
I think he's just answering questions about like if he would come back, and he's just giving us options of like what he would want to do.
Triple X, where's this coming from? Is this from an interview?
Yeah, he spoke to. It was actually speaking to my buddy Mike from Den of Geek, and he was talking about like kind of like how would he imagine? I think he was talking about like actor stuff and so on. Like if he never says season 9 or whatever specifically, but he says that, like he would love. Some sort of like variation of like a limited, type of event of, a type of thing that could be a little more gory, that could be a little more bloody and so on. I think Steven is just asking for like a DC product on HBO Max at this point, because, and then, he's asking for the right thing. So don't blame him. Hi.
No one remembers that. Nobody.
I don't want to talk about it.
If you bring it up again, feminist.
Wow. So how things are? Yeah, they're a great weapon. It's
yeah, we're chilling.
um,
We're chilling like a villain. Wait, what did you say?
Suit me up, Uncle Alfred.
I just why?
So like
But yeah. I mean, if, I'm okay with some sort of Steve. Like, here's the thing. I never want his Oliver Queen to be revived because it will ruin the stakes of it. I think if anything, let him just guest star on whatever shows are still left on the CW as a ghost, as a spirit, as a flashback, or an Oliver from another Earth or something. That's fine. But if I ever see that, or if Barry were somehow to go back in the past, that would be fine with me. But at this point, also, we also have to learn, because I know people and I feel bad for him a little bit that people always keep asking about this, because it's like, don't put these actors in a box and think that this is all they want to do with their careers. So
the answer is yes, in some sort of capacity, whether it's a ghost, something. Because I mean, Barry appeared in his final episode. Why not?
yeah, because he was dead. He was in a funeral.
Well, I know. I'm just saying. Like, I think
I just wanted to say that he was. Yeah, I just want to say because he's dead. And part 2. Well.
Be a nice callback to the flashback. Yeah, would be. I mean, if they don't get him, I'll be disappointed, to be honest. But it also depends on what is the storyline for the show to end. Would it make sense for him to appear at some point? Like, if it's random and it makes no sense, then don't do it. But
I think for a series finale, I think a series finale should get to have more leeway, because the thing is, there's never a series finale that will completely make sense, because they're trying to honor so much. Like, no matter what genre you're looking at, comedy, drama, you name it, every series finale has ever aired, there is always a sense of non-logic to it, because they want to honor certain things, they want to do certain, they want to actually give it, tip their hat up to the viewers who kept them on air for X amount of years. So for me, like, if there's just a random moment where Steven, like, if let's say Barry is, he's about to be defeated, and he's, he needs to be, get, like, he's not able to get up, he's, he's getting ready to give up and throw the towel, and somehow Oliver just emerges in front of him. He's like, I did not sacrifice myself for all of you just to give up. Get your ass up and run, Barry, run, or something like that. So for me, I don't need a sense of logic. I don't need a sense of logic for his appearance. But if he's going to be too expensive, then I don't need him.
Okay, perfect thought. Just
what happened?
As you were talking, so Barry's fighting Reverse Flash, and Reverse Flash has, not playing the clip, leveled up, but they're equally matched. Reverse Flash getting the upper hand, and Barry gets knocked on his ass, and he is like about to just give up. He can't stop him. Whatever's happening. And Oliver appears, get up Barry. And at first he's being aggressive like he was early on to Barry in terms of, like, treating him pretty harshly. Barry, get up. And then that's when they open up about the fact, like you were mentioning, I sacrificed myself for you and Kara. I did all this for you guys. You need to get up, Barry. And then they have a moment. They hug it out like bros. And then he ends with run, Barry, run. And then boom. I feel like that'd be so good, because it's that bond, that relationship between those two characters that is so crucial to the Arrowverse in terms of how they really, played off each other, how they were so different, but yet they were heroes. And I feel like it would be really a very powerful moment, even if he's not actually there, but it would just mean so much.
I think a hug would maybe visually be weird, like if it's all in his mind, because then like what
It
is he?
might,
What I would do is I would have him grab his shoulders and like he's the like he puts his hand on his shoulder and like kind of like just brings him up, but that's like in reality Barry just getting like the energy just fucking get up,
yeah.
cowl on, and run. I have to do this now because that's what he does now. So
when he pulls him up, he's staring at Oliver and he goes, "Run, Barry, run!" And then the next shot, he's gone. Then the thing and the cowl and go, and he's feeling that motivation.
I have not seen either of those finales. So but if you enjoyed them, I'm glad.
I don't know. In the comics, she will. So there you go. I mean, yeah, I think Tom Cavanaugh says it amazingly, but I mean, in terms of like just having Oliver say it would be awesome. That's what I'm saying.
No, Aiden, no. We're not. That's not happening.
Wow, you have seriously leveled up.
Just for the record,
that's what Gracie said.
Leveled up. No, for me, I will just make it clear. I don't mind the level. I know almost everyone seems to hate it, and again, I'm like, I've seen worse things from this franchise than just this term being thrown around because it's a theme. But
well, let's be honest. Every time they say a level up, this is you, and no one knows this, but this is you. Fuck! What the fuck? God damn it!
Well, if I'm live tweeting, I don't have time to like do anything. I'm
you
just
throw
typing.
The beanie. You can throw the beanie. Throw the
If
headband.
No, Friday on Tuesday, on Wednesdays I don't get fancy about anything like that. I just
Gotcha.
Because usually I go to bed afterwards, so there's that.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Wow, you have seriously leveled up.
That's her talking to the freaking Black Flame. When she finds out it's Ronnie. Wow, you've seriously leveled up.
Yeah, you became like a skull in the air.
You're a cloud of black smoke.
You don't need a human body anymore. You can just fly around and doing whatever you want.
That's fucking funny. Oh my gosh, we have 21 people in here. Hello, welcome. 21 people. Welcome, everybody. Funny enough, I just got Paramount Plus streaming service, and
give it a watch.
Teen Wolf is on there.
Give it a watch.
I might check it out.
I'm excited for it. I think it's sooner than I expected it to be, but hey, I love that universe and I love those characters, and I think that as long as they like, again, I don't need like a Teen Wolf season 7 or season 8 or whatever. Like, this is for me, like, let this do what it needs to do, which is obviously set up that new spin-off show that's coming, but also have like I want to see what Scott is up to after all these years. It's not his worst Wells. They wanted to make him an action hero, obviously. I think that the Allegra connection is just what bothers me the most, because I'm like, it didn't resonate with a lot of people, I think, including myself. But I do think that if that, like, as far as like final Harrison's goes from other universes, that was one of the better ones, because I hated Sherlock. I hate it. Well, it's like, this is why I can barely watch season 5. Like, I only watch season 5 if I have to do research for something. But I hated HR, and I was more like, why can't we have Gandalf Wells the Grey around for a couple episodes? I'm like, I screamed at my TV set. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This is the one that they decided to give us, but yet they don't give us him for a longer period of time.
Yeah, I heard about the revival. I'm honestly not that excited for it, because there's some actors that are not going to be there that I want to be in the revival. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. so much support. Hope you guys are doing well. You guys want to see Sarah and Clark team up buried this fall like me? I think we all want to see some team ups.
Bring all of them together.
All of them. Stargirl.
Bring them all together.
All of them. All the dead characters from the previous Earths that died and bring them all back.
Yeah, bring in every billion versions of Harrison Wells that we had to give up their
I
lives.
want the fall crossover to just be the Council of Wells for 5 episodes.
But it needs to be like 52 Wellses in there because you all know how much you love the number 52. So
they kept going with that crap. So I watched Flash Starter Crisis, but I've seen clips. And the one I went, what the fuck is the space freelancer?
I thought it was fun. It was like it was a little like.
I imagined it.
That came out of nowhere, but sure. But hey, I'm like,
yeah, I thought it was interesting. And then you made the point they've had so many speedster fights. Like they had to switch it up or do something different. I mean, yeah, I get that, but also like, and I get the whole point he was fired, but I miss, what was his name? Thomas Gibson. I forget what Hotch. I miss Hotch.
Was he fired?
Yeah, he was fired because he like kicked a writer or something for a disagreement or something.
Physical. Yeah. So yeah, we're not gonna tolerate that. Bye, Felicia.
It was a long time ago, but like I like that character. And in the way they explained him leaving was just so random, but at the same time, it was during the middle of them shooting a season, so but I like that character a lot. The Gray spinoff next week. Thank you for the super chat again. Thank you, Scott. Thank you so much for supporting. All kidding aside, what heroes do you guys want to see in the event this fall if they do one?
You know what? Let's do a little challenge to that. Let's not just say the one that everyone would always expect to say. Let's try to think a little more outside the box. So because we always say Batwoman, Black Lightning, Superman, Sarah. Let's try to be a little more creative for once.
Let's do the parameters of it being a 5-episode Flash graphic novel, just like they did this last year. Yeah. Okay.
Like use any of the any of the characters from any of the past, present, or even maybe future shows. So go.
Okay. I would like to see. Let's bring Renee Waldog. Let's bring Renee into this. Trying to think in terms of that.
I think Thunder would be fun. Would be fun to bring on.
Let's do Black Lightning and Thunder. Let's have.
Black Lightning. We always say Black Lightning. Like I'm trying to think about the other characters that people don't always bring up.
Okay, so Thunder, Waldog.
I think Luke Fox would be fun as Batwing.
Okay, Batwing. Okay, yeah, because he's now making more of a name for himself on Batwoman, so we could bring him into the mix.
I think now that never mind, that doesn't work.
He's more of an anti-hero now. Slade. Could bring Slade. Maybe. I don't know. Could do Painkiller. I was thinking like Deathstroke. I mean, not using the name Deathstroke, but maybe we can bring Slade into the mix. I mean, he is not really a villain anymore. I don't know what kind of role he'd play, but I'd like to see Man and Bennett back again. But Roy and Thea. That's pretty solid choices. I mean, they're together now, so we can kind of see an update on where their lives are at right now. A little bit.
I would love. I mean, I would always bring over Booster Gold, because Donald Faison deserves greatness, and
R4 is Wonder Girl.
Yeah.
Earth 96 Superman, so Kingdom Come Superman. Yeah, sure. I mean, we could do that. Vixen's a good Vixen.
At this point, I almost also wouldn't be shocked if they ever brought back Mari McCabe. I think Maisie would probably play her at this point in present time. Because Megalyn has just she played her in one episode multiple years, and I think she's busy at this point, so I don't even know if she would.
Yeah, season 4.
Episode
15,
something like that.
It was the episode when stupid little shit. What's his name?
Damien Dark.
No, him, but Oliver's son.
William
got taken, and that's when he admitted to Samantha, William's mom, "I'm the Green Arrow," and they brought in Vixen because William was taken.
The Ray will be fun because we don't know if Ray and Leo, because we need to see what happened to those two.
Yeah, because Ray was shown in Crisis. They showed Ray.
Yeah.
Ray. So, yeah, bring the Ray in. I mean, literally, I thought they were going to do. I mean, even though we have an animated like little thing that they did with him, I really thought he was going to appear in live action more. Like I was thinking, like they're setting him up to appear more often, but because he doesn't have to appear during a crossover, he could just pop up on an episode. Like he could just breeze through and go to Flash. He didn't have to pop up in a crossover. But I was surprised he popped up in Crisis. I'm like, oh, we haven't seen him in a bit. All right.
I think he filmed that in LA actually.
Oh, okay. Well, it's cool that they used him. I really thought they were going to use him more. I mean, the animated thing I get, but
Leo would. I mean, if they came back to, well, Lux would presume that there is something even happened this fall. So but
I mean,
I want to see him as Red Death. Like I think that's the way they could get away with using like a Bruce Wayne that isn't like the main.
The Dark Multiverse. He's not our main Batman.
But also that, I mean, if they wanted to wrap up this damn mystery once and for all, they could say that Earth Prime Bruce Wayne, the reason he disappeared is because he's been traveling across multiple Earths, absorbing different Barry Allens because he wants to be like, he wants to be the ultimate hero and whatever. And he's been Red Death for all these years, and then at some point he comes, crosses paths with Earth Prime's Barry, of course, and then
they made a point to mention the Red Death in that future scene in Flash.
The thing that sucks so much about that is because it's from the helping era. I don't know what Jordan.
The camera.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
The problem with that mention is that because I feel like anything that was mentioned pre-crisis, I don't necessarily regard it as something like they have to, like they can or even will refer back to, because now it's a clean slate. They can do anything. So but that's how I would wrap up the Bruce Wayne mystery on Earth Prime this entire time, and either he dies or he gets sent to prison, or he whatever and so on. And this way, we never, because I don't want, if Batwoman, for example, were not to come back for another season, I don't need this mystery to hang over this franchise for multiple years. So other heroes that I would want to see. I'm trying to think more from
Mr. Terrific. We mentioned him earlier. We can have him. I remember this too. Oliver had an animated adventure.
That was clever.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
it is a crazy shared universe, and of course, Crisis connected everything. Like it's all connected in the multiverse. Of course, we knew that, but they actually connect.
I wish more people would say things that you said just, Scott, because I feel now it's become so divisive and honestly, it's because Superman Lois. Like, as much as I love that show, like that show has done a little damage to the franchise, because now there is segments of this fandom that this franchise has that thinks that everything else that made Superman Lois even possible are somehow trash, beneath Superman Lois, not worthy, not good enough, and does not even deserve to be on air and so on.
Yeah.
So I appreciate what you're saying, Scott, because there's so many people out there. That's why I don't really focus so much on Twitter anymore, because people are just so toxic about this franchise these days.
I like this point too about if Clark had a past with this new timeline with Earth Prime, Bruce and Diana. I think Bruce, probably for sure. Since they made sure to make a point on Earth 38 that he knew Bruce Wayne, Batman. But Diana and Bruce, I don't know. And I feel like in terms of introducing Wonder Woman, I don't think if they ever did introduce Yara Flores as Wonder Girl, I don't think they'll ever introduce us to Diana just because Gal was in the movies.
I will give you a twist. I know Wonder Woman is in this franchise, but whoever said that it needed to be Diana, there's another famous Wonder Woman, Nubia, they could use.
They could do that. They can go that route. There's definitely other routes they can take, but as we know, people are gonna be like, "Well, this stuff is not Diana. It's not Wonder Woman." Shut up.
Okay. Yeah, because people are simple-minded sometimes, that they don't like to think outside the box.
So. I said the same thing about people saying Miles Morales is not Spider-Man. He is Spider-Man. Like, just because he's not Peter Parker doesn't mean he's not Spider-Man. It's
No,
the same.
that's not all. That's not really what it is. They're saying because he's not white, that's why he's not
Yep.
Spider-Man. So
And that's another point. My thing is this: is that when people say, and I understand the point of because he's African American, he's not Spider-Man. It's the thing is you clearly don't read fucking comics. If you're sitting there going, hey, he's not Spider-Man. Okay, well, you don't read comics then you're proving the point. You don't read the material you claim to be a fan of. You do not read the stuff that's out there because you can say you disagree with him being Spider-Man because it's only Peter Parker. Well, like you said, you're being closed-minded. You're not thinking about the bigger picture of it.
also, remember, I want to bring back something Stan Lee said at the inception of creating this character was that the reason he and Stan did go it wasn't intentional, but one of the things why Spider-Man can be anyone because the costume covers his entire face, his entire body. You don't even see a piece of his skin, and it's to be able to give anyone who reads those books an idea, the imagination that I can be Spider-Man. I could be Spider-Man underneath that mask. So but if you're gonna crap on what Stan Lee said, then maybe you don't really love Marvel. So saying
I was getting all the shows back to the same place and time for next season. I don't know.
What's same time? What
I don't even know. Like timeline? Like I don't know.
Because there's nothing to restore because it's all in present time. They're just happening. Maybe you could say that Legends is happening. Legends is outside of time because they were stuck at the past for like a whole season. Batwoman could be like this would happen back in Christmas, and Super Load is taking place maybe during like the fall season, and Flash is taking place late Christmas, late winter, early spring or something. So I'm not sure what you mean with that. It could be
about me and Andy.
Yeah, and I mean a web series maybe, but I don't think Warner or CW would ever invest money in something like that because people there lives because of superheroes.
Yeah, that's how some people are, and that just shows their true colors when they say they don't see these other characters as taking up the mantle or they don't agree with it. It's just clear why they don't. Because I'll tell you this: there are people that did not like that the Sam took up the mantle of Captain America, but if it was Bucky, a lot of those people wouldn't have an issue, and you know why?
Quite interesting.
And it's really stupid. It's really stupid because they set up throughout that show, Falcon Winter Soldier, and before in the movies, Bucky's not fit to be Cap. Sam, they set him up, and the path he took was to become the new Cap. It just made the most sense. But if Bucky took up the mantle, there'd be a lot less people complaining. But now since Sam, it's a problem. But I wonder why it's a problem. Oh, I know. No, it's all good, Justin. The show is there for you to watch back and to enjoy. It's almost a 2-hour show this past week. So make sure you go and check it out. And we have the timestamps and everything if you want to go to particular topics or the Q&A. We definitely had a lot of fun. we have fun every week. So
we do.
Check out the show. Do you think White Canary is worthy to be a founding jail member?
She is at this point, so yeah.
Yes, she was around since the beginning of Oliver's journey, being on that boat. He said that. Oh yeah, because he's openly said he doesn't like derivative. I think he calls them derivative characters, or he basically saying he doesn't like when people take up the mantle or something. I don't fucking know. I don't pay attention. That'd be awesome. Am I in CC jitters though? That's all I gotta know. If I'm in coffee,
do you even like coffee?
And I'll do some hot chocolate.
Well, there you go.
I'll drink coffee if I get my Flash beanie, but I don't want to be in the. I want to be in CC jitters on the Flash show. I don't want to be in the movie. I want to be in the show. I want Barry to fly past, and I go, and it flies off. I'm like, oh, that was the Flash. They were like, the Flash. I know the Flash. I won't say it like that too. And then I'm going to turn to the camera, break the fourth wall, go, Gracie.
No.
And then it'll cut. And I'll tell them, if you cut that out, it's over. It's over. I did have some issues with Ryan Wilder becoming the new Batwoman. Like, was thinking maybe Kate would have never wanted that, but that was proven wrong. Well, I mean, the whole thing is too is like, I remember, and I saw the videos up. I had an issue with him creating a new character to replace Kate. I'm like, just recast Kate, because my main problem was the fact that we had so much storyline that wasn't completed because of the shutdown, and season 1 wasn't completed in terms of airing those episodes, and there's still more story to go. And I'm like, how is this going to make sense? How is a brand new character going to connect to this, and this that was not wrapped up? They made it. They made it work. They had to switch up a lot of the stuff, but they made it work for Ryan. But my thing was, at this point, with what you were setting up in season 1, you didn't complete. Why not just recast Kate? And that was my thing. But ultimately, they went the direction they did. And I don't have an issue with it. I was just saying at the time, it wasn't so much about Ryan being African American, because back then there was no confirmation that it was an African American woman playing Ron Wilder. It was just the fact is they're bringing in a new character to replace Kate. I'm like, why? It'd be different if season 1 completed all of its first season 1 episodes, and you completed the story arc mostly for season 1. Then okay, bring in a new character. But the fact that they had to shut down and everything and it wasn't done, why are you doing this? But it wasn't me being racist or me being against the fact that she's a different race than me. It's the fact that story-wise, Kate's story is not done, and the stuff they were setting up is not completed. So it would make no sense, but they made it work. So
I remember, I was hesitant about the idea of any new original character taking over the mantle. Like, I know I've said it, and I was nervous. I was like, really getting down on Batwoman for doing it. And then it cast Javicia Leslie, and I see, again, and I remember that, hey, the Arrowverse may have its faults, but if there's something the Arrowverse has done tremendous work with, and there's still room for improvement, it is to give minorities in the world someone they can look up to, someone that looks like them. And I think with Ryan Wilder, she's been I think she's been a way better character than the version of Kate Kane that we ever got in this franchise. I mean, yes, Kate Kane in the comics, she's amazing. We love her, but I think this was probably the best choice that they could have done. And I think that 201 was surprisingly really, really well in how they tackled this issue of, we lost our lead and now we have a new lead. So and now like everyone is everyone wants to see season 4. There's people on social media still fighting for it. So
me too. I'd be like,
I think whenever Flash is getting ready to end, this will happen in some capacity. Yes.
James Batford did film them stuff.
Yeah, my buddy Bam Bam, if you're watching, shout out to you. Yeah, he's a gift to that show, and I miss him.
I don't know about you, but
I
don't know about you, but it's late.
It is getting late. Yeah, so we will. Let's do 5 more minutes. Let's cap it at 12:40, and then we'll shut this down. So hit us with your burning questions. Let's spice it up a little bit.
Burning questions.
Black burning questions, I guess. With black flame.
Black flame.
Oh my god, that's all I'm gonna see in my head now. I love the Felix House reference to in Armageddon, Scott. Maybe that one.
With all the stuff going on right now on Team Flash, I mean, if Cisco showed up, this is what he would say.
I leave Central City for 2 seconds.
And everything's hard as shit.
I saw a photo of him on his new show that he's doing. I don't know what it's called.
Show? He has a new show?
He has a new show? Yeah, Google it. But like he's cut the hair.
Oh no.
He looks still great. I mean, Carlos is a beautiful man, no matter what length of his hair is. But I can Scott asked, do you think Faust was the Batwoman Superman Lois crossover we never saw? No.
Okay.
Stabbing like Captain America, people are gonna have to deal with it. Captain America is a mantle. Yep. And if you don't like it, they can go suck an egg. Laurel's storyline was just done after being back for a year. Well, that's because the show never treated Laurel with respect. So, and then the Flash had to come in and save them by giving us a new Laurel because Arrow lost a bunch of ratings, got a critical bash, and they fucked up.
What show is he on?
I don't know, just Google Carlos Valdez like deadline or something. I think you will find it. I don't know. Again, I really don't remember what the show was called or what network it's on. Amazing Webhead says, I actually thought it would be cool for Grodd to be a main villain for Crossover, but I understand the budget limitations. If it had been a few seasons ago, but of course he's redeemed, but still, yeah. I mean, there's other ways they can do Grodd as evil. That's fine. Justin brings up, is Candace coming back? According to Canada, she might not, depending on how much CW is willing to pay her. Okay, so okay, I know what this is a reference to. And so a couple of days ago, Candace posted on her Instagram stories. She was doing a Q&A. She was answering fans. And someone was asking her, like, are you going to be back for season 9? And she said, I don't have the quote in front of me, but she said something in the form of that. And she's not sure yet. She's taking she's taking it one day at a time. But at the same, and then of course now everyone is freaking out. I know Canada's talked about it on somewhere recently. And I think, again, remember, you can go watch the interview I did with Eric 2 months ago, or not last month, on the DC Bug YouTube channel. And, like, I think he knew already at that point that they were going to be good for season 9. But the thing is, he does not get to make those calls of when those things get announced, and neither does Candace. So, I think there's probably still a good chance that Canada will be back. I'm sure they have a lockdown or something. I mean, we're going to see changes for the show anyway, because it's going to enter its 9th season. So, but
no. Team Flash is too. There's too many characters.
If we start, because I know Daniel Pan, because she is pregnant, and I know people been speculation maybe she will leave the season or something, because now she's getting her second kid. If she were to leave and Frost would as well, yeah, we could see someone like Sue be a team. I love Natalie Dreyfus, and I fucking loved her in these 2 episodes she's been so far. We will see him when Sen Hill Ramamurphy is probably available again.
There you have it.
He's a busy man. So
some of these actors, they get busy, and unfortunately that doesn't mean they can just come back whenever.
But it speaks to the volume of the kind of talent the show is able to get. That, yeah, even if we can't get him as a series regular for multiple seasons, the fact that they've had such iconic actors come on there, like Victor Garber, Wentworth Miller, and I'm trying to, oh my god, the voices we've had for Gorilla Grodd and Solovar, for example, and Senator Ramamurphy, and it's that's pretty neat. So yeah, we're gonna probably leave the live stream up, right?
Yep, it's gonna be up to watch back.
So yeah, so watch us, support it, and subscribe to the channel, and the notification bell, because
follow him. All the social stuff's in the description.
Follow him as well, and yeah, keep supporting those multiverse, because we're next week we do a big episode 10.
This upcoming week is episode 10, so be there at 9:00, guys. It's going to be great. Hopefully, we'll have some good topics to cover. But ultimately, we're going to be celebrating 10 episodes of In This Multiverse.
My phone is too tired to do that, so I'm like, I'm leaving the voices to you.
Endless multiverse.
Endless multiverse, and I'm really tired. So I'm just like, I'm.
Thank you, Triple H.
I mean,
Thank you.
He is. I barely do. I mean, my U-turn is like essentially dead. So, well, thank you for enjoying the show.
Yes. So yeah, guys, make sure you're keeping up with Endless Multiverse. The playlist is always there, so make sure you're caught up and watch old episodes. Share them around. Tell your friends. We're here. We're covering news. We're having fun, and yeah, so we will go. We'll let you guys go. We're going to ride off into the sunset. Time for us to go to bed. And,
not together.
Not together. We're going to go to bed. We're going to wake up, and he'll be writing articles. I'll probably be doing some videos if there's stuff going on tomorrow or throughout this week. Well, there's stuff. Will be stuff to talk about on Friday. Regardless, we will have something to talk about. So, hope you guys are doing well. We will talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.
Gracie.
Gracie.